The silence in Leo's room was heavier than the thick desert air outside Cairo. Moonlight cast long, lonely shadows across the floor. Avoiding the empty chair where his grandmother, Nana Layla, used to sit, weaving tales of gods and pharaohs, her absence was a raw, physical ache, a hole in Leo's 10-year-old world that nothing could fill. Tears, silent and hot, traced paths down his cheeks as he clutched her worn shawl, breathing in the faint scent of spices and sunshine that still lingered. Sleep felt impossible. A distant shore across an ocean of sorrow. He missed her stories, her laughter. The way her eyes crinkled when she smiled. The world felt gray and hollow without her warm presence filling the corners of their small apartment. His gaze drifted to the window, seeking stars she'd named for him. But tonight they seemed dim and uncaring, lost behind a veil of his own grief. Suddenly, the air grew unnaturally cold, swirling like desert sands caught in a whirlwind. The moonlight in the room deepened, turning a rich, impossible gold. Leo gasped, shrinking back against his pillow. As a towering figure materialized near the foot of his bed, he stood impossibly tall and regal, his head a sleek, solemn jackal silhouette against the luminous wall. Clad in dark linens edged with gold, he radiated an ancient, powerful stillness. In one hand, he held a tall, ornate staff. In the other, shimmering faintly as if woven from moonlight itself, rested the scales of Anubis. Leo's breath caught it. Was him the jackal god, the guardian of the dead, just as Nana Layla had described in her wondrous stories? Fear prickled Leo's skin, cold and sharp, but beneath it surged a bewildering flicker of awe. Anubis's dark, intelligent eyes regarded him, not unkindly, but with the weight of eternity. Leonidas, the god's voice resonated, deep and resonant, filling the room without seeming loud, like the rumble of distant thunder over the Nile. Your sorrow echoes through the duet. The realm beyond it is a weight unlike any I have measured. Anubis stepped forward, the scales gleaming softly in his grasp. Leo could only stare. Frozen, the balance must be maintained. Young one, all hearts are weighed against the feather of Mot. Truth and order come. Anubis extended a hand that felt colder than winter stone, yet strangely comforting. Leo found himself reaching out, his small fingers trembling as they brushed the god's immense palm. In an instant, the familiar walls of his room dissolved, replaced by an endless expanse of deep, velvety indigo night. Studded with stars brighter than diamonds, they stood upon nothing, yet felt solid ground beneath them. The scales of Anubis, now massive and radiant, hovered before them, one pan empty, the other holding a single, impossibly pure white feather that glowed with its own gentle light. Anubis gestured solemnly. Place your heart upon the scale. Child. Leo's eyes widened in terror. Am my heart? He stammered, clutching his chest. Will it hurt? The jackal god shook his noble head. It is the weight of your spirit, Leonidas, the essence of your being in this moment. Do not fear the truth. Trembling, Leo closed his eyes. He felt a strange, warm pressure, not painful, but profound, like a gentle hand reaching inside him. When he opened his eyes, a glowing, softly pulsating light, warm amber shot through with streaks of deep blue sorrow, rested on the empty scale. He watched, breath held, as the scale bearing his heart began its descent. It sank swiftly, heavily, thudding against its base with a sound like a distant drumbeat. The feather of Mot, impossibly light, soared high above. The scales were broken in balance. Leo's heart plummeted further than the scale itself. Had he failed? Was his grief a sin? But Anubis did not reach for the monstrous Ammit, the devourer of souls. Instead, a deep, resonant sigh, like wind through ancient temple ruins, escaped him. He leaned closer, studying the heavy amber light on the scale. Such profound sadness. Young cub, he murmured, his voice softening. This weight, it is not the darkness of wrongdoing, it is the crushing burden of pure, unadulterated love. Severed too soon. He looked directly at Leo, his jackal eyes filled with an unexpected depth of understanding. Your tears are not evidence of a flawed heart, Leonidas, they are the testament of a love so deep its absence creates a universe of grief within you. The scales tip not from evil, but from the sheer magnitude of your affection for your Nana Layla. Leo felt a sob catch in his throat, A mixture of relief and renewed pain flooding through him, the god understood the balance must be restored. Anubis stated, his tone gentle yet firm, not by diminishing your love, but by honoring its true form. Show me, Leonidas, show me the love that weighs so heavily. He extended a hand, not towards Leo's chest, but towards his temple hesitantly. Leo closed his eyes again, reaching not for fear, but for Nana Layla. He saw her hands, deftly shaping dough into sun-baked bread. He heard her voice, rich and warm, singing old songs as she swept. He felt the scratchy wool of her shawl as she pulled him close during a thunderstorm, whispering stories of clever Badet. He remembered the sparkle in her eyes when he showed her a perfect school grade, the taste of her honey cakes, the safe harbor of her lap. Each memory was a burst of light, warm and golden, flowing from Leo's mind like liquid sunlight, pouring directly onto the scale bearing the feather of Mot. The impossible happened as the vivid, loving memories, the scent of her bread, the sound of her laughter, the feel of her embrace, streamed onto the scale holding the feather. It began, slowly and steadily, to descend simultaneously, the crushing weight on the scale holding Leo's heart lightened. The deep blue streaks of sorrow didn't vanish. They softened, woven into the warm amber glow of enduring love, becoming part of its beautiful tapestry. The scales trembled, then found their equilibrium. Feather and heart rested level, perfectly balanced. The heavy dread dissolved, replaced by a profound warmth spreading from Leo's chest outward. It wasn't that the sadness was gone, it was that it now had its rightful place, intertwined with the enduring love, not drowning it. He opened his eyes, tears still flowing, but they were different tears, warmer, cleansing. Anubis nodded, a deep satisfaction in his ancient eyes. See, young cub, the weight of true love, even in grief, is never too heavy for the scales when remembered. Truly it is the feather. Your Nana Layla's love remains within you, a guiding light. Carry it, honor it, and let its warmth ease the sharpness of her absence. The jackal god placed a cool, comforting hand briefly on Leo's head. Sleep now. Remember the bread, the songs, the stories. Remember the love. The starlit realm began to shimmer and fade. Leo felt the soft cotton of his own pillow beneath his cheek, the familiar weight of his blanket. The lingering scent of spices on Nana Layla's shawl beside him seemed stronger, sweeter. The crushing despair had lifted, replaced by a deep, weary peace and the comforting glow of 1,000 cherished moments. His eyelids grew heavy, the image of the balanced scales, feather and heartlight shining together, imprinted on his mind for the first time since Nana left. Leo felt her presence not as a painful absence, but as a warm, golden light held safely within him, promising that love, truly remembered, could never truly be lost. He drifted into a deep, dreamless sleep, cradled by the restored balance of his own heart.